Okay, so today we're diving into something I think we can all relate to. It's that moment when, you've aced the interview process.
Right.
You're picturing yourself, first day on the job.
Yeah.
Feeling great.
Absolutely.
And then that offer comes in. And it's like way lower than you thought it would be.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a reality check.
It really is.
What do you even do in that situation?
Well, I think the first thing is not to panic.
Right.
Because it's so easy to immediately get defensive or feel like you have to fight back.
Totally.
But that's not always the best strategy.
No, not right away.
It's more about taking a step back.
Okay.
Like you said, it's a real deep dive moment.
Yeah.
Because you need to gather some information.
So before you even start, crafting that counteroffer email.
Exactly.
What's the first thing you should do?
Well, career expert Andrew Lasivita, he has this great question that he recommends asking yourself.
Okay.
When you get an offer and it just feels off.
All right, I'm ready to lay it on me.
He says, ask yourself, is the amount offered based on how they view the position,
Okay.
in general,
Okay.
or is it based on how they think you specifically will perform in the role?
Oh, that's good.
Right.
Because it's like two totally different things.
It is.
Are they saying this job just isn't worth that much?
Exactly.
Or are they saying they're not sure I'm the one to make it worth more?
That's really insightful.
Yeah, because that's going to totally change how you approach the negotiation.
Absolutely.
So how do you figure out which one it is?
Well, you kind of have to ask them.
Okay.
Not in a confrontational way,
Right.
but just try to understand their perspective.
So what would you even say?
You could say something like, I'm really excited about this opportunity, but I'm curious to know, is this salary range based on how you view the position in general?
Okay.
Or is it more about how you see me specifically contributing?
Oh, that's good because it's not accusatory.
Right, it's just asking for clarification, which is totally fair.
Okay, so you pop the question, you put it out there.
Yeah.
What happens next?
Well, there are a couple of ways they might respond.
Okay, let's hear it.
So scenario one, they come back and say, you know what, you're right. We actually see this role as a lower level position than you do.
Oh, interesting.
So they're basically saying they don't value the position as much as you might.
So it's not really about you.
Not personally.
It's about how they've structured the whole thing.
Exactly.
Okay, so what do you do then? So they're basically saying no matter who takes this job,
Right.
it's just not going to pay that much.
Yeah, that's essentially what they're saying.
So what do you do?
Well, it depends. How badly do you want the job?
True.
Because if the offer is just way off.
Offensively low.
Yeah, if it's disrespectful almost, then you might just walk away.
I mean, it takes guts.
It does.
But I kind of respect that.
He shows, your worth and that you're not afraid to walk away from something that's not serving you.
And I bet that earns you some respect too.
It can.
Even if they don't say it.
Yeah, even if they don't offer you the job right then.
They might remember you down the line.
They might, or somebody else who was watching that interaction might be impressed.
Right, makes you think.
Totally.
But okay, let's be real.
Okay.
Sometimes you need the job.
Of course.
You can't just walk away from every lowball offer.
No, you got to be practical too.
So what do you do then?
You can accept the offer.
Oh.
Keep your options open.
So don't stop looking.
Exactly.
Keep those feelers out there.
Keep networking. Keep applying.
You never know what might come up.
And sometimes just having that job offer
It's not perfect.
can give you leverage.
That's true.
In future negotiations.
Okay, so you're saying even if you accept this offer,
yeah,
it's not the final word.
Exactly. You can always keep playing the game.
Okay, I like that.
Now, what about that second scenario?
Oh yeah, we were going to get to that.
What if it's not the position they're undervaluing?
It's you. They're just not convinced you're the one.
Yeah, that's a tougher one.
How do you even figure that out?
Well, it usually comes out in the conversation.
So they'll say something.
Yeah, they might question your experience or your skills or your past performance.
So it's more about your personal brand.
Exactly. It's they're not seeing your value.
And that's where you got to step in and be like, whoa, hold on.
Right. You got to change their perspective.
Reframe it.
Exactly. And this is where Andrew's advice is so helpful.
Oh, yeah? What does he say?
He talks about the importance of reframing.
Oh, okay.
Shifting their focus from what they think they know.
To what you know.
Yes, to what you bring to the table.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Give me an example.
All right, so Andrew talks about one of his clients.
Okay.
Let's call her Sarah.
Okay, Sarah.
She was a chief revenue officer.
Okay. Very impressive.
Highly sought after, tons of experience, proven track record of success.
All right, so she's the real deal.
Oh, yeah, she gets this offer.
Okay.
And it is shockingly low.
Oh, no. Like
Yeah.
ridiculously low.
Oh, it was bad. Like they were trying to lowball a rock star.
So what was the deal? Were they just trying to take advantage of her?
No, it turned out they were comparing her salary to other C-suite roles.
Okay.
Like their chief customer service officer and their chief people officer.
So other executives, but not in the same lane at all.
Exactly. Like those roles had nothing to do with bringing in revenue.
Yeah, you can't compare them.
And yet they were using those salaries as benchmarks.
That's so
Like
frustrating.
they got hung up on the job title.
Instead of the actual impact.
Exactly. And that's a trap a lot of people fall into.
Yeah, you can't just look at a title on a piece of paper.
You have to look at the value someone brings.
So how did Sarah turn things around?
She basically reframed their whole perspective.
Oh,
She got them to focus on the bottom line.
okay.
She stopped talking about job titles
Right.
and started talking about revenue.
So she like schooled them?
Basically, she walked them through her strategy for growing the company's revenue.
And I bet they were like, oh.
Pretty much. Their eyes kind of opened up.
So it's like she became her own salesperson.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah.
She had to sell herself.
But it worked.
It did. They realized they were way off.
And bumped up the offer.
Significant.
See? That's what I'm talking about.
It's about knowing your worth.
And being able to back it up.
Exactly. You have to connect the dots for them.
Show them the value you bring.
And don't be afraid to toot your own horn a little.
Right, because if you don't, who will?
Exactly.
So we've talked about what to do when you get a lowball offer,
Right.
but what about preventing them in the first place?
Ah, good question.
Is there anything you can do to avoid getting lowballed in the first place?
Well, you can't control everything,
Of course.
but you can set yourself up for success
how
by being really clear about your salary expectations from the very beginning.
So like in the application?
Even before that.
Really?
Yeah. When you're networking,
Okay.
when you're talking to recruiters.
So put it out there?
Exactly. Let
Yeah.
people know what you're worth.
What if they ask you your salary history?
That's a tricky one.
Yeah, a lot of people say not to answer that
And for good reason.
because it can really limit you.
Exactly. Your past salary is not necessarily a reflection of your current value.
Right.
So you can try to deflect.
Like how?
You could say something like, I'm more focused on finding a role that's a good fit.
Okay.
And that aligns with my current skills and experience.
So basically sidestepping the question,
Exactly. You're not giving them a number.
but you're also not refusing to answer.
And hopefully they'll get the hint.
And focus on your qualifications instead.
Exactly.
I love it. This has been such a helpful conversation.
I'm glad.
I feel like I have a whole new toolkit for negotiating.
Remember, it's all about being prepared
Knowing your worth,
and being confident.
and if all else fails, walk away.
Exactly. Sometimes that's the most powerful thing you can do.
Well said.
Yes.
Well, on that note, that's a wrap on today's deep dive.
Until next time.
Thanks for listening.